grade 2 hamstring injury. Austin Reaves has to make a decision by July 1st on whether he wants to accept a player option for $14.9 million for next season. Reaves can decline the option, which will make him eligible for a max contract, $251 million over 4 years. Should the Lakers give him that money? Some soul searching needs to be done before that decision is made. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Pacoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA, Talk 1580, download the app.
Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Our leader, Tavis Smiley, was in town yesterday, and I was unable to spend some time with Tavis. But I'm so grateful that he was in the city. I bumped into a half a dozen people, including my mother, who said, "Hey, Jesse, Tavis is here." And I'm like, Mom, Tavis has me working from 12 to 2 on the West Coast, 2 to 4 Central, and 3 to 5 on the East Coast. Tavis knows exactly where I am. So grateful, however, for his leadership during these critical times and grateful for his friendship. He sent me a text message and said, "I have to see Miss Jackie." And my mother absolutely loves and adores her some Tavis Smiley. A lot going on in the world today, ladies and gentlemen. The President of the United States is on his way to China in pursuit of some kind of big deal. I don't know what that means, unless it's probably a personal deal, something that he and his family benefit from. Because so far, based upon all of the national polling, the American people have very, very low expectations of the President of the United States. Their feelings about the economy are obviously tanking. Affordability was a critical issue that he ran on in the last campaign, and prices and inflation could not be more higher than they are at this hour. Gas prices hovering somewhere around $5 a gallon here in the city of Chicago. On the West Coast, in some places, they are even worse. And so we are not unmindful of the fact that while the president is on another international junket, the fact of the matter is the American people right here at home are struggling. We are suffering and struggling, and our leader is more concerned about building golden statues to himself, naming things after himself, spending money that's not been appropriated by Congress, moving and playing a shell game with the people's resources. And nothing could be more tragic. In this particular hour, I'm particularly grateful that we are being joined by an Army veteran, Mr. Slade Douglas, who is the central figure of the groundbreaking documentary Slade Douglas versus the City of Los Angeles, The Veteran They Tried to Silence, a powerful investigative documentary grounded in documented facts, legal filings, official records, and verifiable evidence. The film chronicles Douglas's personal fight against institutional abuse, discrimination, and retaliation, shedding light on the broader injustices faced by veterans at the hands of government actors. A U.S. Army veteran and former college football player, Douglas, age 49, said he felt he had no choice but to take the city of Los Angeles to court to, quote, ensure that this doesn't happen to another person. He attended Florida State undergraduate and Richmond Community College for Political Science and Law. Slade, Brother Douglas, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thanks, man.
I'm hearing a little bit of an echo, but I'm going to press through it. Slade, let me begin by asking, I think I want to divide our interview into two parts. First, let me begin by thanking you for your service as a U.S. Army veteran. Please share with us your experience, why you chose to join the Army, and your sense of patriotism, your sense of the nation, your sense of desire to provide security for the American people. Brother Douglas.
Well, thanks for having me. Well, my family history, I had several family members who were also service members as well. And then obviously the struggles and the trial and tribulations that we have been through as Black people in the United States. I wanted to make sure that I did my part as it related to strengthen the people's constitutional rights.
I'm particularly grateful to hear you landing at the Constitution of the United States. Was it your experience for Black men and women who enlisted into the armed services that there was this and there is this profound sense of patriotism when they joined the services?
Yes, sir.
My expectation and understanding when I was in college, some people joined the military just looking for a job or just looking for a gig. But at a time when our country and many of the rights that some have died for, many have died for, are under attack, I can't help but think about the first time that African Americans donned on the colored uniform, if you will, the blue uniform in the American Civil War, and our fight for citizenship and recognition, even while we were fighting for the country. Your thoughts, Mr. Douglas, on that sense of patriotism?
Yes, sir. And that just, goes to the testament of the Black people in America, even though our rights are still being violated to this day. Obviously, having a president who's also trying to overturn every civil rights act that has been passed to make the country a better place for all people. We're still putting our lives on the line for a country who's not loving us the way that we have loved it. And the election of Donald Trump clearly was several steps back as well.
And that truly is, as we go forward, that truly is the great irony that men and women, particularly men and women of color, more specifically African-American men and women of color, have put their lives on the line as we contemplate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. We've got a lot to be thankful for, but we've also got a lot of work to do. More with Slade Douglas when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Bakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Our very special guest in this hour is Slade Douglas, a U.S. Army veteran and former Florida State football player who was awarded $6.8 million in January of 2026 after a federal grand jury found the LAPD and the city of Los Angeles liable for civil rights violations, including unconstitutional detention and excessive force. Slade, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you, sir.
Slade, let's continue our conversation. So you're a veteran. You're a veteran of what particular foreign war?
Army.
You're an Army veteran.
Yes, sir.
So you returned from the Army, donning on the flag. You have followed orders. You have defended your country. You have served the public. You return home a proud American.
Yes, sir.
Having served your nation with great expectations for your hope and your future.
Yes, sir.
Slade, you're an African American male. What happened next?
Yes. So after doing everything that my country asked me to do, no criminal record, always doing the right thing and becoming an advocacy, that contributed to the events that happened on August the 27th, 2019, that led to the lawsuit that you just referenced. I'm also an advocate for veterans, people with disability, people from marginalized communities. So I had filed a systemic discrimination complaint, and I called the VA in regards to that. And as a result, of my advocacy, the VA initiated it was a government initiated swatting on me. And the LAPD arrived at my location. They arrested me for exercising a constitutional right, calling 911. And then when they arrested me, in order to cover up the unlawful act, they conspired on camera with LAFD and others and said, we need to take them to the hospital to protect the city and the cops from liability. Then they took me to a hospital, Good Samaritan Hospital in Los Angeles. And then when they took me there, and the judge in this case, who is a tremendous judge, and I hope she one day become a Supreme Court justice, Judge Fringenbaum, tremendous judge. She ruled as a fact that they treated me without my consent. And we understand when you do not have consent, every act that follows is a crime. And the police told the medical personnel that they needed to find something in my system to justify the arrest. Subsequently, they drugged me, they injected me 9 times, and then they did extensive toxicology testing, and then they also sexually assaulted me by catheterizing me to extract urine from my system, which is sexual assault by an instrument under California Penal Code 289. And then when they did not find anything in my system, they released me.
Other than the stuff they put in your system.
Yes, sir.
Which you did not authorize.
Yes, sir.
I have a clip that I'd like to go to right now. Thank you so much for that, Slade.
Hi, Doug. Douglas, Mr. Slade. Yes. How you doing? All right. We got a call from, was it the veterans?
I don't know what they call it for.
Can we come in and talk to you for a minute? Yeah. Okay. Is there anyone else in the house?
No, that's me.
Okay.
This is Slade Douglas, a U.S. military veteran. On August 27, 2019, several cops arrived at the residence of Mr. Douglas after getting a call from Veterans Service, informing concerns about his well-being. The officers got the report that Mr. Douglas may have tried to harm himself and was concerned about his safety. However, watch how the encounter became unlawful when the cops tried to interrogate the matter.
So, I'm just gonna make sure nobody else is
No, please, no. Hold on, I asked you no.
All
So
right, just
I don't have to ask you to leave, because this is my house, number one, and you just can't walk around.
Let me ask you just a couple questions. Okay. The veterans people, they were concerned, okay, regarding a couple things. One was which that you were threatening to commit.
That's
okay. So what I'm here for is just to make sure you're not going to do something like that. You understand? So if you need our help, that's what I'm here for. So we're not here to mess with you, bother you, or anything.
Well, you do understand if you just walk in my place and you just automatically start walking around, and I know y'all wear body cams as well, extra enforcement too. If you just come in my place like that and you just start walking around, you have to know my permission to do that, so I don't appreciate that. You can't violate my rights because you got to call me, okay? So you're not helping me if you just come in and you automatically start violating.
Well, sir, it was more for like officer safety.
No, it's not officer safety because I didn't even have to let you in.
Right.
So, no, don't say right, because it's about my safety because you're in my domain, and if you're here to help me, you can't say, well, my safety is, because I have no weapons.
We don't know that.
You do know that because I'm asking you to leave. Please leave. I'm asking you to leave.
You don't feel like turning yourself?
I'm asking you to leave.
You don't feel like turning yourself?
I'm asking you to leave my residence.
Well, if you answer this question, then we'll...
I'm asking you to leave my residence.
I'm about to put you in handcuffs, sir.
The officers request entry to check on his safety, and Mr. Douglas initially permits them to enter. However, he later asks them to leave, firmly stating that they are in his house without permission. He asserts that the officers are violating his rights by remaining without consent and challenges their reasons for being there. When Mr. Douglas insists they leave, the officers threaten to place him in handcuffs. He continues to question why they would arrest him. Watch what the cops are about to do.
If you do that, that's your choice.
Okay, turn around.
Why would you put me in handcuffs?
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
What have I done?
You're going to listen to what I said. You're going to put down the phone. You're calling 911, and I'm standing right here.
But what have I done?
Put down the damn phone.
Why are you cursing at me? Why are you using profanity at me?
Put your hands behind your back.
Why are you using...
Because you know what? You're calling 911, we're standing right in front of you.
But I'm asking you to leave my residence.
I'm not leaving your place now. Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
You said you came here to help me.
I'm not doing that now. All right, so put your hands behind your back. You're calling 911 right in front of us.
Because I asked you to leave my residence.
We can't leave. You know we determined. You know this. You know exactly what I'm talking about. If you were law enforcement, then you would understand.
Okay. And this is why African Americans have issues with law enforcement.
Don't start that. Don't start that. That's a bunch of...
I asked you to leave, and you use profanity at someone?
That's okay. I could use that.
Oh, really?
If I
For
want,
someone...
yeah.
Wow. I'm sitting here completely struck by the interaction. I didn't realize until this moment that the entire process, Slade, had been videoed. What did that profound disrespect and violation of your constitutional rights and your space, what did that feel like? Slade, I think you're muted. Slade is unmuting himself. I think he might have muted himself during that. Slade? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, because here's the interesting thing about the entire situation as well. I was swatted on, and the fact that it was actually placed under a safety clause. Criminals
what does it mean to be swatted on?
So swatted is where they prompt a false emergency response to intentionally get the police to your location. In this case, because it was racist sentiment, and the VA, for the record, they also intentionally deleted the call as well. The National Archives Records Administrator disclosed that they intentionally deleted the calls from that day. So what was done, this was a false emergency response to intentionally get the police to my location. Also, the cops, when they actually arrived at my location, they never verified the call. So for all they knew, it could have been AI making that call. So you don't get to come to someone's location without any evidence and enter by deception and not claim that you're there for their safety. So then for me to see that the Constitution not be applied, and then for me to see that my name is also being slandered by saying that they was there to conduct a welfare check. A welfare check is a legitimate concern for someone's safety. So if they know as a fact that this was never verified and it was false, there's no such thing as a good faith law. This wasn't a situation where the VA said there was a Santa Claus, there was the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy was coming. This was intentionally to prompt a police response at a Black veteran's home in hopes to not only silence me as it related to my advocacy for veterans, but also to cause disproportionately harm and for police to capitalize on their brutality of Black veterans throughout history.
I'm thinking in this moment that the opportunity to de-escalate, you had presented that to them several times.
Yes, sir.
And yet they ignored your plea for de-escalation.
They sure did, and completely trampled my constitutional rights because I had not committed a crime. They did not have a warrant. And when I asked them to leave and they refused to leave, they were trespassing by law.
And then they denied you or withdrew your freedom from you by placing you in handcuffs in your own domicile to add insult to injury.
Yes, sir. As a result of exercising a constitutional right by calling 911. And we see what happened in these encounters as well when we look at Miss Massey in terms of what she experienced. So, of course, when they're refusing to leave, any reasonable Black person, or you don't even have to be a person of color, you're going to be in fear of your life at that time.
Brother Douglas, let me ask you this question. As a result of your lawsuit and your award, changed any policies within LAPD going forward as a result of your treatment and this very well documented, fact-based, verifiably evidence-based encounter?
Absolutely not. And one of the reasons is because they have organizations, in my belief, like Los Angeles Times who are going around defaming the matter. They did an article about this and they put it under a welfare check in 5150. And I had an interview, and what I stated was not even quoted. Obviously, I wrote their leadership and they came back with this privilege and jest. So that's something that's going to be looked into as well, because in order to bring about systemic change, we have to speak truth to power. And that's one of the things I respect about you. That's one of the things I respect about Tavis and the KBL family. You all do speak truth to power. So we're veterans. We're very grateful for what you all do.
I'm thinking also in this climate that men and women who have given of their lives and of their service to the nation as veterans are some of the most discriminated people by the federal government and by local government amongst all people discriminated against. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you are 1000% right. And every time a veteran advocates, the first thing that they do, the government, is label veterans. They're going to say the veteran is difficult.
Or crazier, that you got PTSD or something's wrong with you, when in fact you served your country, you did what was asked of you, you were, I assume, discharged honorably from the service.
Yes, sir.
And still disrespected when you came home.
Yes, sir. And the constitutional rights that you fought for, now you're being treated as a second-class citizen.
Mm-hmm. See, I can see why now, and I know we're coming forward in just a moment. I can see why so many of our civil rights cases centered around the United States colored troops, whether the letters written to Abraham Lincoln demanded equal pay for equal work, equal service, equal sacrifice. Every man or bled the same blood in the Civil War battles. I can see why my grandfather, coming home from World War II, with a new pride about his service to the nation, but still being told to go in the back of a restaurant or the back of a hotel, how that disrespect presented itself by not fully recognizing your service, but at the same time, you become the victim of a vitriol from the government itself. I can see in this moment now why Muhammad Ali said, folks in Vietnam ain't never called me a Negro. Y'all, I'm not using. I can see all of it in this moment. Slade Douglas is our very special guest on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. More when we come forward right after the break.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. President Trump is suggesting Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio could be a, quote, dream team, end quote, for 2028.
Sounds like a good ticket, J.D. That was a perfect ticket.
At a Rose Garden dinner Monday night with law enforcement officials, Trump asked attendees which one they preferred while stressing he is not endorsing anyone. Black singer David's preliminary hearing has been postponed to June 29th. The 21-year-old, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, is accused of murdering 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez and dismembering her remains. And the man accused of stealing unreleased Beyonce music in Atlanta has pleaded guilty. Kelvin Evans was accused of stealing suitcases and hard drives from an SUV rented by Beyonce's choreography team last year. He'll serve 2 years in prison and 3 years on probation. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O Tires, save up to $170 on select sets of tires with paid installation using your Big O Tires and service credit card. Plus, synthetic oil changes start at just $39.99 through May 24th at Big O Tires.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Some leftover numbers from the Lakers' season-ending loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder Monday night. The Lakers never beat OKC this season. They lost all 8 games to OKC, including the 4 in the regular season. The Lakers missed the Western Conference Finals for the 3rd straight year. This is the 4th time in LeBron's 23-year career that he has been swept in the playoffs, the 2nd time with the Lakers. Luka Doncic missed the Lakers' last 15 games. He'll have plenty of time now to recover from that grade 2 hamstring injury. Austin Reeves has to make a decision by July 1st on whether he wants to accept a player option for $14.9 million for next season. Reeves can decline the option, which will make him eligible for a max contract, $251 million over 4 years. Should the Lakers give him that money? Some soul searching needs to be done before that decision is made. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580. Your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
Let's be real. For too long, too many of our students have sat in overcrowded classrooms in underfunded public schools.
But as head of the San Diego School Board, Richard Barrera changed that.
Under Barrera's leadership, student literacy rose from the state average all the way to #1 among major urban school districts. Barrera led the way for smaller classrooms and for teachers to be paid what they're worth.
Barrera funded more counselors and mental health services, and community schools that teach real-world skills for future jobs.
A community organizer who became an education leader to fight for our kids. The only candidate for State Superintendent of Public Instruction,
backed by the 310,000 classroom educators of the California Teachers Association. Vote Democrat Richard Barrera for State Superintendent.
Ad paid for by California Teachers Association Independent Expenditure Committee, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
The joint will be jumping. Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Big Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. Foot stomping, heart stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
When the story gets twisted, who's going to tell the truth? When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Talk 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect Black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, Black voices, Black power.
The heat is on
the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected, stay informed, stay loud.
Stand up!
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Tenacious Tuesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. And in the next hour, Barbara Arnwine, the tenacious founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition, will be our guest. In this hour, however, Slade Douglas, a U.S. Army veteran, former Florida State football player, was awarded $6.8 million in January of 2026 after a federal jury found the LAPD and the city of Los Angeles liable for civil rights violations, including unconstitutional detention and excessive force. In August of 2019, LAPD officers responded to Douglas's apartment for a welfare check after a VA employee incorrectly reported that he might have a problem. Despite Douglas stating that he was not in danger to himself or others, officers detained him under a California 5150 mental health code. Douglas's lawsuit alleged he was handcuffed, forcibly hospitalized, and drugged. He testified to being subjected to forced sedation and invasive medical procedures, including a catheterization, despite having no drugs in his system. A federal jury ruled that officers lacked probable cause for the detention and violated his constitutional rights. The jury found the city vicariously liable for the officers' actions. Brother Douglas, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you, sir.
Slade, tell me, why did you decide to go the route of a documentary that you produced yourself?
Well, one of the reasons was about speaking truth to power. Again, a lot of people have misrepresented exactly what happens, some intentionally, obviously some unintentional. A criminal have the right to the presumption of innocent until proven guilty. We all know how the Constitution works. If you don't engage in criminal activity, then you cannot be arrested unless you're reasonably suspected of that. Now, in my case, I was swatted on. So when the welfare check framework is used, that's actually not factual because, again, there's no such thing as a good faith lie. So a swatting is a false emergency response to, again, have the law enforcement to come to someone's house. I think Dr. Abdullah, who's a colleague of yours, sir, has been swatted on a total of 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So when they showed up at my location, there was no safety framework, period. When they asked to enter, they asked for consent. The Supreme Court already stated in the 2021 case of Carnegie versus Storm that welfare check justification does not apply in the private home, because if there was exigent circumstances, you would not need to ask me for consent to enter. So when they asked for consent to enter, all of the welfare check framework clearly is dismantled anyhow. Then clearly I did not commit a crime, and they did not have a warrant for my arrest. So the fact that they engaged in these criminal acts under the color of law, and they was able to carry this out and cause harm to my reputation by saying that I was placed on a 5150 hold, which I was not, because the city and the cops was denied qualified immunity. Also, a violation was false imprisonment. False imprisonment does not equate to 5150 hold. And the fact that a tune of 6.8 million. So it's educating the public in terms of how municipalities, and Donald Trump is an example of this, to where they put labels on constitutional rights, and they label them and muddy the water so bad now the person is actually being defamed. But then we still have, again, where criminals afforded more protections than a person who's actually been swatted on, and even again having the assumption of innocent until proven guilty.
Let me share with you how impressed I am with you. When I went to law school, obviously I had to study and understand the Constitution in order to graduate. When I was elected to Congress for 17 years, I advanced new constitutional amendments and predicted that there would become a time in this country. Some people refer to my book, A More Perfect Union, written in 2001, actually as prophetic, updated in 2019. And in Congress, I saw this coming and became, next to John Lewis, a historian of the Congressional Black Caucus. But it wasn't until I was indicted in 2012 and spent time incarcerated myself that my study of the angles and the sides of the Constitution took on new meaning. Because I moved from the theory of the Constitution and the philosophy of the Constitution to my individual rights, protections, safety, and concerns. The Constitution at that point, Brother Douglas, became a part of me. And the extent to which you went to serve your country with whatever knowledge of the Constitution you had at the moment that you wanted to do right by America and our struggle, the extent to which you decided that you wanted to go to Florida State and ultimately a pre-law program at Richmond Community College, and now your knowledge of human rights and constitutional rights based on experience and having been wrongfully arrested and mistreated in the process, your understanding and appreciation of the Constitution on its 250th anniversary is a fundamentally different prism and a fundamentally different insight on the significance of the document. Am I right about that, Brother Douglas?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That was a great question, but you got one answer. See, that's a great military right there. So the difference, of course, is that you have the lived experience, and
Yes,
that
sir.
to an advocacy that continues to this day because there are many brothers and sisters going through this process. Correct?
Absolutely. When you can strip someone from every constitutional right that they ever have known, when they did not do anything wrong, and because they conducted themselves in a manner extremely professional based upon the circumstances, and then for them to even be awarded $6.8 million by a jury and still be slandered somehow that it was due to concern for the safety. The only safety concern that those cops had and the others were to protect the city and the cops from liability. They said it themselves. And that's why it's disappointing to me that no elected official in the city of Los Angeles have done anything to change the policies instead of bragging about the MEU, because they see now it doesn't work. Again, anytime your rights can be violated and then they actually are defending this with taxpayers funded money. That's what a lot of citizens do not understand, that when they abuse our rights like this, as opposed to going ahead and resolve it, no, they further what I'm going to consider engaging in fraud, waste, and abuse by defending these unlawful acts against someone who did nothing wrong.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Slade Douglas is our very special guest. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Fred Martin, founder of Compton Kids Club. I just want to talk about the authenticity and tell y'all about my homeboy, Tom Steyer. Tom is a rock star. When I met him, Tom gave a grant to schools in San Francisco. All the kids were on probation. We were flying instructors for 2 years to come and help those kids doing performing arts and turning their life around. Some of the kids that he supported, they've graduated from UCLA. Let's fast forward. Tom is in schools in Compton, hanging out with the kids in the piano classes. Brother Tom Steyer hangs out in the studio with us. These are the seeds that he's planted. This has nothing to do with elections. What's coming out of his mouth is not a campaign speech. It's authentic. And when he say he walks away from a business because he want to do his values, he ain't making that up because he's running for governor. This man is real.
Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
Let's be real. For too long, too many of our students have sat in overcrowded classrooms in underfunded public schools.
But as head of the San Diego School Board, Richard Barrera changed that.
Under Barrera's leadership, student literacy rose from the state average all the way to #1 among major urban school districts. Barrera led the way for smaller classrooms and for teachers to be paid what they're worth.
Barrera funded more counselors and mental health services, and community schools that teach real-world skills for future jobs.
A community organizer who became an education leader to fight for our kids. The only candidate for state superintendent of public instruction,
backed by the 310,000 classroom educators of the California Teachers Association. Vote Democrat Richard Barrera for state superintendent.
Ad paid for by California Teachers Association Independent Expenditure Committee, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The midterm elections are upon us. It is voting season once again. Common Cause's motto is fighting for the democracy we deserve. In service of that goal, Common Cause puts its state and national policy expertise, massive network of grassroots supporters, and nonpartisan approach into action to strengthen our democracy against the challenges we face today. They work at every level of government on priorities that impact each of our lives, like defending the right to vote, limiting big money's influence on our elections, holding public officials accountable, and more. Common Cause is a nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to upholding the core values of American democracy. They seek to empower all people to make their voices heard in the political process. This election may be the most important one ever. If you'd like to make a donation or volunteer in service to the Constitution, please visit commoncause.org. That's commoncause.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Hey, I am D.L. Hughley, host of the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show, heard weekdays from 2 to 4 exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. I promise to make you think a little, but laugh a whole lot more. So tune in to the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show 2 to 4 only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on Tenacious Tuesdays. Our very special guest, Slade Douglas, is the central figure of the groundbreaking documentary Slade Douglas versus the City of Los Angeles, the veteran they tried to silence. A powerful investigative documentary grounded in documented facts, legal filings, official records, and verifiable evidence. Brother Douglas, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you, sir.
Brother, let me give you some credit, because now that I got 50 minutes under my belt of trying to get to know you, some credit for your stamina, your resilience, your persistence, and your military training.
Thanks.
Because, brother, listen, if these white folks had walked up into my house and did to me what they did to you, talking about a wellness check or welfare check or 5150, this story would not have ended the same. In fact, they probably would have said, this nigga is crazy. I'm sorry, this Negro is crazy. And the thing got worse when Jesse started talking. He pushed us in my house. He pushed us. We began a shuffle. We tased him. We dragged him out. Then we drugged him. And we finished whooping his behind while in handcuffs. This would have gone very different. But we have a landmark case here because of your character, that you understood the Constitution, you knew what your rights were because of your demeanor, the way in which you took care. Man, listen, I'd have left here playing Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Public Enemy. I'd have just, man, listen, there would be no award for me at the end of this process because the jury would say, no, this Negro right here reacted wrong the whole time. And I'd have been like, these are my rights. No, I don't like the white folks. These are my rats. These are my rats. These are my rats. So you are still in a position, brother, to carry some of your advocacy forward. Was one of the police officers black?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. I was about to say, because me and I'd have whooped that Negro good. Listen, listen to me, Slade. So I want to congratulate you on all of the mustering of the character. I think it was Viktor Frankl who said between stimulus and response. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space, we get to choose our freedom. From the moment you were stimulated and violated and rights were withdrawn from you, there was this little space where you got to choose your response. And your response was to cooperate with the officer and let them handcuff you and arrest you and take you to the process. And then the violation exacerbated itself. It only got worse to not only breaking a series of laws, but to the point of torture and conspiracy to deprive you of your rights under the code of law. And so I want to congratulate you in that moment. There's something to be said about all of us who in that moment where we are stimulated in that space, we have that little space right there to choose our freedom. You can get out the car and start hollering. You can confront that officer and he can pull out a taser and pull out his gun and take this to a whole nother level.
Right.
Or right there in that space, you can collect yourself. And they are failing to de-escalate, but that doesn't mean this is going to get much worse. In your case, I can't imagine it getting much worse than it did. Right. But I can only imagine that you had to muster a considerable amount of discipline to live to tell this story.
Yes, sir.
Then to be blessed by a jury, to be remunerated, if you will, compensated for the mental anguish and the physical abuse that you experienced. and then to still emerge with the discipline and the determination to fight them another way on their terms. Did anything ever become of those police officers who violated your rights?
No, sir. The
They weren't
city did
suspended?
not. No, sir. And there has been no accountability as it related to anyone involved in these
And there have been
criminal
no
acts.
and there have been no policy changes?
Absolutely none. And not even one elected official from the city has reached out to me personally to get input in terms of how we can improve law enforcement for the citizens of Los Angeles.
Well, that's something right there that we might be able to remedy here at KBLA. I plan to be in Los Angeles sometime in June for the 5th anniversary of KBLA, and I will reach out to the mayor's office and also reach out to Brother Smiley to see if there's any meetings that we can get to address appropriately any kind of public policy response to these 5150s. Maybe we can even pull together the Veterans Administration so when they call 911, that everyone understands that there are consequences to these SWAT tactics.
Yes,
we're not going to lie down and continue to take this. So count me.
Thank you
in,
so much.
Indicating their support for you and your journey. Brother, we have about 2 minutes remaining in this hour. We have about 2 minutes remaining in this hour. And I always offer our guests a word of hope. Now, a word of hope means you have 2 minutes, soldier, to give the community and the world a word of hope. Don't you just say one word because you're a soldier. Take your time. You got 2 minutes.
Hey, well, first of all, I want to thank Tavis Smiley and the KBLA family, yourself. You all, again, do a tremendous job. You are a pillar of the community and the nation, and we appreciate everything that you do. We appreciate all your advocacy. We appreciate you speaking truth to power, and we appreciate you stating the facts in terms of what go on. I believe that's the only way there's going to be accountability as it relates to the crisis that we continue to face as a nation. Also, I close by saying I'm looking forward to you returning to Congress again, sir. I mean, you was obviously one of my favorite congressmen, so I'm looking forward to that actually happen. And final, I'd just like to say to all the public that anytime you have an encounter with law enforcement, what you have to always remember, what if it comes before a judge? So you want to make sure that you conduct yourself in a manner that's so impeccable that when it does present in front of a judge, no matter what label they try to use, they're going to be denied qualified immunity. Going to be denied qualified immunity. And in the end, what the jurors proved in this case, and that's, again, the citizens of the great state of California, that they do believe in the Constitution. And if you conduct yourself in a manner and you do not violate any laws, they will will reflect, as it did in my case, at the tune of 6.8 million and possibly more.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been listening to Slade Douglas on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Brother Douglas, love you so much, brother, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Love you too.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More on KBLA Talk 1580 when we come forward with Barbara Arnwine.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. President Trump is suggesting Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio could be a, quote, dream team, end quote, for 2028.
Sounds like a good ticket, JD. That was a perfect ticket.
At a Rose Garden dinner Monday night with law enforcement officials, Trump asked attendees which one they preferred while stressing he is not endorsing anyone. Black singer David's preliminary hearing has been postponed to June 29th. The 21-year-old, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, is accused of murdering 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez and dismembering her remains. And the man accused of stealing unreleased Beyonce music in Atlanta has pleaded guilty. Kelvin Evans was accused of stealing suitcases and hard drives from an SUV rented by Beyonce's choreography team last year. He'll serve 2 years in prison and 3 years on probation. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O Tires, save up to $170 on select sets of tires with paid installation using your Big O Tires and service credit card. Plus, synthetic oil changes start at just $39.99 through May 24th at Big O Tires.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Some leftover numbers from the Lakers' season-ending loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder Monday night. The Lakers never beat OKC this season. They lost all 8 games to OKC, including the 4 in the regular season. The Lakers missed the Western Conference Finals for the 3rd straight year. This is the 4th time in LeBron's 23-year career that he has been swept in the playoffs, the 2nd time with the Lakers. Luka Doncic missed the Lakers' last 15 games. He'll have plenty of time now to recover from that grade 2 hamstring injury. Austin Reeves has to make a decision by July 1st on whether he wants to accept a player option for $14.9 million for next season. Reeves can decline the option, which will make him eligible for a max contract, $251 million over 4 years. Should the Lakers give him that money? Some soul searching needs to be done before that decision is made. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Pakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward. Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. It's Tenacious Tuesday on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and we're on the grind with Barbara Arnwine Esquire, NASA, SpaceX, and whatever that rocket company that Jeff Bezos has is called have nothing to do with the ship that Barbara Arnwine is on that takes us to another place and another space every Tuesday at this hour. She's the president and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition and is internationally renowned for contributions on critical justice issues, including the passage of the Landmark Civil Rights Act of 1991 and the 2006 reauthorization of provisions of the Voting Rights Act that presently is without provisions. And so we're going to change that because right now she is leading the fight for the passage of the John Lewis legislation and the restoration of the Voting Rights Act that was struck down in the Robinson versus Calais decision just a few short weeks ago that continues to reverberate in our news and around our world. I really don't know what more I can say other than if we were in a Baptist church somewhere, Barbara Arnwine would be a prophet, a prophetess, and they would let her come and prophesy over what's coming next. Currently, she serves as co-chair and facilitator of the National Commission for Voter Justice, the Millennial Voters Matters convenings, and the Voting Rights Alliance. Barbara, welcome forward to your show, On the Grind with Barbara Arnwine, right here on KBLA Talk 1580, coast to coast.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for all that you do in this fight for racial justice and worldwide human rights. I'm just so grateful for you today.
I'm so excited when I come to my Tuesday afternoon, enter our conversations with you, and they are so fulfilling. Barbara, I thought about you last night when I read that the Supreme Court removed a stay or a hold on a decision in Alabama, knowing that that would essentially return the state of Alabama to its previous map. And that essentially eliminates, I believe, the Shamari Figures District. Barbara,
Yes.
they're moving at a lightning pace. They're talking about Benny Thompson's district in Mississippi. They're talking about the Clyburn district in South Carolina. I find it interesting that where the governors and the state legislatures are in agreement, MAGA is able to propel, along with the court, the maps. But in the northern states, like Illinois, like New York, where the governors are from blue states and the legislatures understand the significance of minority participation and voting in the Democratic Party's coalition, they seem to be frozen and or not moving at the same pace as the southern states are moving, given the midterms. But my sense is, Barbara, and let me know if I'm wrong, that when this process and the midterms are over, it's quite possible that the Cleanup Act will be lawsuits filed by the Department of Justice on the recalcitrant states in the North who have not redrawn their lines consistent with Louisiana and Calais. That is my second worst fear. Barbara?
It's a good fear because this Justice Department is not to be trusted. Folks, we are in the era of full-on assault to guarantee white political domination. If we ever thought it wasn't true, then get ready, folks, because they're out there moving with breakneck, breakneck speed to undo Black districts that have existed for 30 years or even longer, just in districts that were mostly or exist because they were found to have engaged in racial discrimination in redistricting. I mean, the evil of the court order yesterday for the Alabama map is, remember, folks, on June 8th, 2023. I didn't say 1993. I didn't say 63. I said 23, 3 years ago. The Supreme Court found that the map that was being used by the Alabama state legislature was unconstitutional and a racial gerrymander because it was based on racial bias. And this is the very map that they're now allowing Alabama to use again. Folks, we got a lot to say about this. I'm so excited, Jesse, because we're about to be joined by an incredible guest. For our second segment, we will be joined by the president of the American Federation of Teachers, none other than Randi Weingarten. So I'm so glad that she's going to be joining us, for the second segment of this show.
And Barbara, I'm going to let you conduct most of that interview because I've seen Miss Weingarten on every major news program in the country.
She's amazing.
And we are particularly honored that she's joining us on the grind with Barbara Arnwine. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Up next with Barbara Arnwine and Jesse Jackson Jr. is Randi Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, representing 1.8 million teachers, healthcare workers, and support staff across the country. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Pakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renters Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Quality drops the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. It's Tenacious Tuesday with our most tenacious contributing guest, Barbara Arnwine, the president of the Transformative Justice Coalition. Our very special guest for this segment is the president of the American Federation of Teachers, representing 1.6 million teachers, healthcare workers, and support staff across the country. Decades into organizing teachers, she represents more people than some governors do. Her election as AFT president in 2008, Weingarten served for 11 years as president of the United Federation of Teachers, AFT Local 2, representing approximately 200,000 educators in New York City's public school system, as well as home child care providers and other workers in healthcare, low law, and education. Weingarten is the recipient of many commendations, too many for me to name in this moment, but I do want to share with you. You can stay in touch with what the president is doing. Weingarten's column, What Matters Most, appears in the New York Times Sunday Review, the third Sunday of each month. You can follow her at Blue Sky, at Weingarten, rweingarten.bsky.social. Madam President, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. I am a big fan. My father was a great fan.
Oh my God, your father.
Your work and your leadership.
Oh my God, your father. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
And may he rest in power. And he would be out there, Jesse, you know this, in Montgomery this weekend. He'd be doing a fast through November, because this is, I mean, look, the old Jim Crow used poll taxes and literacy tests and white-only primaries, and the new Jim Crow uses gerrymandered maps and voter roll purges and polling place closures, and the Supreme Court that just denies the 14th Amendment and the 15th Amendment. And the best example of why the Voting Rights Act is still important is what just happened this week. And the audacity of them doing what they did this week of basically saying, oh, we're not getting rid of it. We're just basically denuding it. And then the rush that we've now seen in these southern states to change maps, it is just disgusting. And I'm honored that I'm going to be in Montgomery. I was supposed to be at a big thing in UFT in New York City. I'm going to be in Montgomery with all of you on Saturday. We're getting a bunch of other leaders. And frankly, what I've said, sorry about my hair right now, but what I've said to also our white leaders, I said, this is the time. I've said to our gay leaders, to our Jewish leaders, to our white leaders, this is the time that we are standing up for each other.
Yes.
And we must stand up for a multicultural, multiracial democracy. And this is the moment that we all do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Madam President. What I do know about my father is that if he wasn't waking Barbara Arnwine up at 3 o'clock in the morning, right after that call, he was trying to get Randy Weingarten on the phone. Barbara, I'm particularly grateful that you brought your guest here. Barbara, I'm sure there's a lot of real estate that we need to cover with the president. Go ahead, Barbara.
Thanks again, President Weingarten. Just thank you, Randy, for being on this show, because I know how busy you are. And this was last minute, everybody. It's not like we planned this a week ago. This was last minute, and she wants to make sure that everybody knows how strong AFT stands in this moment of fighting for racial justice. So, President Weingarten, tell
Randy.
Okay, all right, Randy, all right.
Please.
Okay, Randy.
We can call him President Obama, but we're going to call Randy.
I hope one day we call you Secretary of Labor.
All right now. So, Randy, tell people, because you're doing more than just coming by yourself.
Right.
You are mobilizing. Tell people about what AFT is doing to be present for All Roads Lead to the South. May 16th, Saturday, there's a national mobilization. And we're asking anybody who can get to Montgomery, Alabama, to join us on the steps of the state capitol. So please tell people what you're doing, because you're doing so much to help with this mobilization.
Right. So look, this mobilization started, and Barbara, you were one of the people who started it. On when Tennessee put together what I consider the basically the long string of the district in order to actually disenfranchise all of Memphis and its disproportionate Black community. When they did that, there were a bunch of leaders over the weekend that said, even if this is not big, we're going to actually make a stand starting this weekend. And I think it's really important because hope and light is very important in terms of what we're doing. What the Southern strategy is about, the quickness in which they're doing stuff is to deflate people, is to basically say, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, we're going to lose anyway. Sit at home. We're just mire in the muck. And what I think that all of you did was say, no, A, we're not going down without a fight. And B, we're going to win. If people come out to vote, we're going to win, because what these guys are doing, the Trump administration and their friends are doing is basically they can't win on the merits. So they're basically trying to take people out of the game. They're literally saying, we get to decide our voters, not the voters get to decide their politicians. So Saturday is about showing up. Saturday is about shining a light and saying, no, you don't get to do this quietly or silently. We're going to actually make a big, not peaceful, nonviolent ruckus like the civil rights leaders have done in the past, like Operation Breadbasket has done in the past, like Martin Luther King did in the past, like John did in the past. We're going to do that work. And so my union, which I'm really proud of, my union was the only union that had an amicus brief in Brown versus Board of Education. My union expelled its segregated locals in the South, leading to, a lot loss of membership. My union has said, we are not turning our back. All roads lead to the South on this and so many other things. So we are pulling together. We just, made a big donation for buses. We're pulling together leaders like myself who had lots of other things to do this weekend to see if we can have a group of leaders coming down. And we're also pulling together a bunch of people who live in the South to come to Montgomery. And we're also right now, as we speak, working with all the people who are setting up these satellite actions in Albany, in Lexington, and whatever. So we are, and we're kind of like 24/7 between yesterday and Saturday in doing this. I have a big meeting with local leaders tonight, and we will talk to them about it. And so you can show up virtually anywhere. There's 13 other sites. We can show up virtually anywhere. You can show up on social media. We need people's voices heard. And just like we are fighting for a multiracial democracy, which is what the Voting Rights Act did, we are fighting to ensure that this is multiracial in terms of the support of not letting our colleagues, not letting our friends, not letting Black Americans be extinguished by this Supreme Court because of the Republicans' thirst for power.
Woo! Raw power.
Madam President, let me raise this question, if I might. I had the privilege of campaigning my father's last presidential campaign for Kamala Harris. We went to the swing states, and a total of 9 states together where I served as his mouthpiece. I've been in touch with Regina Thomas. I've been in touch with Andy Pringle. We are very committed to taking our radio show on the road, on the bus tour throughout South or wherever we have to be for that. But you raised this question of deflation, and you raised it in the context of suppressing the vote, more negative news. Who would have thought just 24 hours ago that Shamari's figures as congressional district would evaporate just overnight? It seems to me, Madam President, that the movement of the 60s had the Supreme Court on its side in the form of Brown versus the Board of Education. Right. We've seen the people speak in Virginia, and we watched the court close the door in the face of the people. Can we expect more of these surprises over the course of this movement that we're advancing?
Yes.
That will deflate us even more, but we have to persevere and be resilient and move forward.
I think we have to expect that my wife, who is a rabbi, often says, we don't have the imagination that the other side does to think about what they can do to actually gain raw power. We actually believed, and I think we did. I think we believed in, and by the way, my column this weekend is going to be about all of this. I'm doing the column this weekend. It's about all of this.
We will promote
it. Thank you. We actually believed that the arc of history bends towards justice.
Yes.
We actually believe that. And we have seen, I would say, in our lifetime, and here I'm going to speak as a gay woman. Do you think I would have ever thought in the 70s when I was closeted that I would have had the right to marry? Never, never, never. And so and how many times did President Obama, how many times did your father, Jesse, how many times has so many leaders who went through the civil rights movements, it's not like it's over, but it went through the 60s, got beaten up. How many times did they live to see a Black president? Did they live to see Kamala Harris run? And so we do believe that that arc bends towards justice. We have to pull it sometimes. We have to, as Eric Holder, as General Holder says, but what they're trying to do is the authoritarian playbook acts on four things: fear, isolation, division, and apathy. And if they think that they can suppress the vote by people saying, oh, it doesn't matter, it won't matter, my vote doesn't count. How many times have we heard that in our communities? Many times. And, or, the fear of what's going to happen at a polling place. So now what they've done is they've actually taken, I think because they're frantic, because they know that left to its own devices, because Donald Trump hasn't done the work that he said he was going to do on affordability. In fact, it's worse. They are frantic. And so they're just trying to take people out. They're just trying to use raw power to take people out. You tell me how a Justice Thomas could concur with Justice Alito's opinion. You tell me how they could write that opinion last night that says, oh no, we were wrong about Alabama. The Alabama case was about the 14th Amendment. The Voting Rights Act, sorry to be a lawyer here, is an executing law like 1983, like other executing laws about the 14th and 15th Amendment. The conditions that required those amendments to the Constitution still exist. And so that's why the deflation, and that's what I heard over the weekend. That's why I'm so grateful that Barbara and others said, no, we got to contest the deflation by showing up in Montgomery.
I find it fascinating, and I know that we come to this end of our particular segment, that the 14th and 15th Amendment, in fact, all constitutional amendments have a provision that say, and the Congress shall have the power to implement this article by legislation, meaning every Congress gets to take a look at it and do it. And that's what's happening here. They overturned the will of Congress. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. We're on the grind with Barbara Arnwine. Our very special guest is Randi Weingarten. More on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. President Trump is sounding hopeful ahead of his official state visit to China.
I think you're going to see that good things are going to happen. This is going to be a very exciting trip. A lot of good things are going to happen.
Before leaving the White House, Trump said he expects to have a long talk with China's president about Iran, which has a close strategic partnership with Beijing. Sheila Sherfilis McCormick may be eyeing a comeback. The former congresswoman, who is Black, attended a South Florida Democrats gathering and says she plans to run again for the District 20 seat she resigned from last month. Sherfilis McCormick is accused of misusing COVID relief funds, but says her goal is to make sure Black voices are not diluted. And the NAACP is demanding answers after a deadly deputy-involved shooting in Clay County, Florida. Deputies say the man had 2 knives, but neighbors say he was a gentle grandfather in a mental health crisis. The NAACP wants transparency and better mental health training. Get VIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O Tires, save up to $170 on select sets of tires with paid installation using your Big O Tires and service credit card. Plus, synthetic oil changes start at just $39.99 through May 24th at Big O Tires.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Some leftover numbers from the Lakers' season-ending loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder Monday night. The Lakers never beat OKC this season. They lost all 8 games to OKC, including the 4 in the regular season. The Lakers missed the Western Conference Finals for the 3rd straight year. This is the 4th time in LeBron's 23-year career that he has been swept in the playoffs, the 2nd time with the Lakers. Luka Doncic missed the Lakers' last 15 games. He'll have plenty of time now to recover from that grade 2 hamstring injury. Austin Reeves has to make a decision by July 1st on whether he wants to accept a player option for $14.9 million for next season. Reeves can decline the option, which will make him eligible for a max contract, $251 million over 4 years. Should the Lakers give him that money? Some soul searching needs to be done before that decision is made. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, aka the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a US-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of traffic? Metro D-Line runs Wilshire now with 3 new stops from downtown LA to Beverly Hills. No parking, no stress. Metro D-Line, the faster way across LA.
The joint will be jumping. Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Big Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. Foot-stomping, heart-stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater. bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Quality, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. We're on the grind with Barbara Arnwine on KBLA Talk 1580. She's the president and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition and is internationally recognized for critical justice issues, including the passage of the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1991 and the 2006 reauthorization of provisions of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Barbara, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Great to be here.
Barbara, thank you for that last segment and inviting President Randi Weingarten. For our listeners who I'm sure are familiar with the president, in case you're not, if there were and are 100 of the most influential Americans in the United States today, not only is she on the list, she's probably in the top 20.
You got it.
Most influential Americans. Randi Weingarten is the real deal in terms of social justice, social action, organizing, electoral politics, and a commitment to making it happen. She has the power to put her thumb on the scale of American politics. Barbara, you and the president are engaged in a great undertaking in Montgomery.
Yes. And if your dad was here, he would be walking right beside me. He would be on me right now. Barbara, when you getting in? Barbara, where you stand? Barbara, we would be walking in lockstep. Folks, on Saturday, we're asking any and everybody who can come to Montgomery, Alabama to meet us on the steps of the Alabama State Capitol. Folks, why is that important? We're asking you to be there from 1 to 5. Earlier that day, some clergy are going to go to Selma, and we're going to walk across that Edmund Pettus Bridge early that morning. But we're asking people to gather in Montgomery from 1 to 5 p.m. Central Time. Folks, why? Why is that so important? It's so important because these states like Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, they've been rushing to destroy African American representation in Congress. They have in their sights over 4 to 5 different African American congressional districts. It's wicked. That one that they destroyed in Tennessee that President Weingarten was talking about, they split it into 3 different districts. They took Memphis and that Black political power and diluted it by throwing it across 3 different congressional districts, saying we don't want Black people to have any power. Then they were so disrespectful when they did it. They wouldn't let Justin Jones and Justin Pearson even talk. They didn't want them on the floor. They blocked them from the committee rooms where they were, having hearings and voting. And in Alabama last week, folks, if you think I'm lying, then you go ahead and I want you to Google, or whatever your search engine is, Google Alabama state election votes during tornado. They were so determined to get rid of Black voters having their representation of their choice that they actually voted while sirens were screaming in the background. There's video of this. I'm not just, you don't have to trust my word. Just look it up. While there was videos of this, while the tornado is is crushing into Montgomery, and there's sirens going off, and they're saying evacuate, evacuate, take cover, and they are voting. They're so determined to get rid of Black political power that they rather die in a tornado than to allow African Americans to continue to have their representation, their political representation. It's so vicious. The only reason, folks, why they ever evacuated, because the bottom of the building had flooded and there was, all kind of tornado damage that was possible to the building. The only reason why they evacuated, a gas leak. That's the only thing. But after they had done their evil, and they're gonna come back and do more evil. Because they're just getting started. These congressional districts are the top of the iceberg. Remember when we talked 91?
191 state reps. Barbara, let me share this with you.
And can I mention that LULAC's going to be there with us? That the
fantastic.
Latino community is very upset.
Fantastic. Let me tell you something. In 1987, I was a student at North Carolina A&T, and I remember when Hosea Williams and about 75 activists and Dean Carter attempted to walk for brotherhood in Cumming. They were met by a violent mob in Forsyth County, Georgia. I came to the second march when we heard about it on January 24th, where 20,000 people came to march. And I'm thinking in this moment, when they were calling Hosea Williams names and throwing rocks and bottles and calling him the N-words and threatening to lynch some of them that night.
Yes.
That they're not going to do that to you today. But they came beyond the red line of calling you the N-word, throwing rocks, bottles, and threatening to lynch you when they ruled in that Supreme Court decision reinstituting Jim Crow in the South. That's what they did. And the point that I'm making is this. We need to show up at that state capitol this coming Saturday, just like they called you out your name and called out your mama. That's how serious this coming Saturday is. I just want to put that little twist on it because I didn't forget what happened in 1987. And whatever the language is for the new Jim Crow, which President Weingarten alluded to in her remarks, that Jim Crow 2.0 isn't that. It's redrawing lines. It's saying you're not going to have a voice. It's going to say, shut up, Negro, and dribble. Shut up and carry that football. You're not supposed to have nothing else to do with this other than what we tell you to do. That's exactly what they did. No voices in Congress, no voices in the state legislature. They said, shut up, go home. Shut up and go home. We're supposed to show up in big numbers supporting Barbara Arnwine and President Randy Weingarten in Montgomery, Alabama, this coming Saturday. And Barbara, I'm going to press it one step further. When these midterms are over, and we need to start thinking about it right now, we have a date with Destiny in South Carolina before the South Carolina primary.
That's right.
In February of 2027. And we have another date with Destiny in Montgomery again.
Yes.
In March. Before and during the Selma to Montgomery commemorative march, because this will be the march, the first march we've had on the Edmund Pettus Bridge without the Voting Rights Act.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
And I'm challenging you and President Weingarten to the candidates debate in Montgomery in March of 2027. This story will continue for the LGBTQ, for LULAC, for the Hispanics, for all of us, because we have to commemorate what happened on Edmund Pettus Bridge. We are not going to be celebrating it this year. It's going to be a commemoration because we'll be looking back at what the Voting Rights Act did. We won't be looking forward to what it's going to be doing for us going forward. Barbara?
Yes. And folks, think about this. The president of the Louisiana, and I'm just saying who he was, Democratic Party, because we're not partisan. In my, at least I'm not in my role.
Barbara, you know I'm at the break.
Okay, and they called him a boy.
Mm.
They said, "Shut up, boy." So when you talk about going backwards, they all the way back. And the Mississippi legislature is meeting next Wednesday in the old segregationists.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Barbara, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More with Barbara Arnwine. These final 9 minutes, I'm going to let her have it when we come forward on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on the grind with Barbara Arnwine.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's be real. For too long, too many of our students have sat in overcrowded classrooms in underfunded public schools.
But as head of the San Diego School Board, Richard Barrera changed that.
Under Barrera's leadership, student literacy rose from the state average all the way to #1 among major urban school districts. Barrera led the way for smaller classrooms and for teachers to be paid what they're worth.
Barrera funded more counselors and mental health services, and community schools that teach real-world skills for future jobs.
A community organizer who became an education leader to fight for our kids. The only candidate for state superintendent of public instruction,
backed by the 310,000 classroom educators of the California Teachers Association. Vote Democrat Richard Barrera for state superintendent.
Ad paid for by California Teachers Association Independent Expenditure Committee, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Hi, I'm Chris Holden, former California Assembly member, former mayor of Pasadena, and CEO of LA Fire Justice. I've spent my career fighting for our communities. When I saw Edison celebrating $4.5 billion in profits while Eaton fire survivors struggled to make ends meet, it made me simultaneously sick and furious. Families and individuals are dealing with financial pressure, insurance delays, costly remediation, and the painful question of how to rebuild their lives, while the utility that caused the fire is paying its executives millions and is more profitable than ever. That's not justice. That's a disgrace. Join the lawsuit with LA Fire Justice to hold Edison accountable. We're here to help you, your family, and our community recover. Visit lafirejustice.com today to learn more about your eligibility and how to start.
Advertisement. Douglas Boxer, 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100, Pasadena, California, 91101 is the attorney responsible for this ad.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 15.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is connecting you with services and solutions. Domestic violence and family violence is when someone in an intimate or family relationship tries to gain or maintain power and control over another through a wide range of abusive behaviors. Every single act may amount to abuse. Abuse can take on various forms: psychological and emotional, physical and economic, and sexual abuse. The Genesee Center Incorporated is a nationally recognized nonprofit domestic violence prevention and intervention organization, housing women and children from 30 days up to 2 years through emergency and transitional shelters. The Genesee Center also provides support services like mental mental health counseling, life skills classes, computer training, job referrals, after-school programs for children, field trips, tutoring, and comprehensive direct legal services. If you need help or you'd like to donate or volunteer, call the Genesee Hotline, 1-800-479-7328. That's 1-800-479-7328, or visit Genesee.org. Everyone has the right to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly drops the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Tuesday. We're on the grind with Barbara Arnwine, president and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition. Barbara, how can we support your work?
You can give to the Transformative Justice Coalition, tjcoalition.org. You can also go to blackconnectionsdesk.org. You can give to our work because we are serious about making sure that African American voting power is protected.
What I can say, and I'm going to make a pitch for you here, Barbara, is that a number of you will not be going to Montgomery this coming Saturday.
Yes.
You can't get there. I get it. The cost of gasoline, the cost of tickets, all of that's high going through an airport. To get to Montgomery, that's 2 flights, fly to Atlanta, then to Montgomery. I get it. But Barbara Arnwine is going.
I'll be there.
You can hear my voice and you cannot make it. I want 50 people, just 50 people to give $25 to Barbara Arnwine today. tjcoalition.org. Go to tjcoalition.org. You support the movement. You down with the people. You down with the cause. But you can't make it to Montgomery. Let Barbara go for us. Help her get her ticket. If you're willing to contribute to the TJ Coalition, I'm encouraging you. Go to what again, Barbara?
tjcoalition.org. And if our website, there's been this big hack about 70 million websites. And if our website is down, it'll be back up. But also you can find information about us on Facebook, on Twitter, everywhere. We're everywhere. LinkedIn. So please, people, become supporters of tjcoalition.org because we will be here for the long fight. Can I make a couple of things really clear?
This time belongs to you, Barbara.
In the time that we got. Everyone, all roads lead to the south.com. The website you want to go to right now that you want to know about what's happening on Saturday is all roads lead to the south.com. And there you will find all the information about Saturday, May 16th from 1 to 5 in Montgomery, the major rally and protest, and our promise to ourselves for the future. If you want to be part of that, then you will find places for you to get all kinds of information. Also, if you're from one of those southern states, Louisiana has an election that day, so if you haven't voted, you better vote first. And that's your priority. But we're going to have buses coming from all kinds of places like Mobile, Birmingham, Huntsville, other places in Alabama. We're going to have buses coming from Mississippi, and we're going to have buses coming from Tennessee. Get on those buses. Come with us. From Georgia, there's a lot of buses I hear coming out of Georgia, out of Atlanta. Get on those buses to find out where those buses are so you can get a free ride to the protest. You can go to allroadsleadtothe south.com. If you cannot travel and you want to still be involved, there's two other ways. One, on allroadsleadtothe south.com, there are satellite events that we're listing now. Remember, a week ago, none of this existed. When I was on this show last Tuesday, none of this existed. This all has happened in less than a week to bring us together because they're moving so fast and terrorizing our people. We need you to go to allroadsleadtothe south.com to find those satellite events. And also, folks, if you can't come, if you can't go to a satellite event, Roland Martin is covering it.
All right now.
Oh, yeah. Roland Martin's bringing his whole crew there. And he had a conflict like everybody else, but he's bringing his crew there. And he's going to cover the entirety of the events that day. So you can watch it, folks, and don't forget that we're going to be on it. Daryl Jones and I will be there. I want to give out a shout of love for Cliff Albright, April Albright, Latasha Brown of Black Voters Matters. They've been rolling. I want to give a hearty shout out for Joanna Thompson of the Woke Vote. I want to give out a shout of love to Melanie Campbell of the National Coalition for Black Civic Participation, to Janae Nelson, NAACP-LDF, which argued the Calais case before this recalcitrant retrograde Supreme Court. I want to also give a shout out to Pastor Michael McBride of Black Church PAC, because there's a huge faith component to this. And we want to give a shout out to all the young people, all the beautiful, amazing students and other young people. We can't do this without there's 164 partners involved in this. We couldn't do it without each other. Please, folks, come and join us on Saturday. Say to this world that when Black rights are under attack, we stand up and fight back. We don't give up. We never give in. As John Lewis would say, we will continue to get into good trouble. So help us make good trouble on Sunday. On Saturday. On Saturday.
I just want to add tjcoalition.org, tjcoalition.org. Go to the website right now, tjcoalition.org. Please make a $25 or $50 contribution to support Barbara Arnwine's work. We'll be following her this weekend through Roland Martin. We'll be following her and picking back up on her next Tuesday, where she can give us her input and her thoughts on how the movement progressed. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. We've been on the grind with Barbara Arnwine in one of the most devastating periods in African-American history. We are living it. We are living through it. The end of Second Reconstruction and the beginning of Jim Crow 2.0. Barbara Arnwine and Randy Weingarten say that there is something we can do about it. We can register, we can vote, we can inspire, we can be resilient, we can be persistent, and we can push back. Now is our time to put up the fight. You ain't got to go back to the civil rights days, back when they did it. You in the civil rights days. These are the days. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Barbara, I love you.
Thank you very much. See you. See everybody. Alabama, Montgomery, Saturday, May 16th. See you there.
All roads lead to the south.com. All roads lead to the south.com. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Love you, Barbara. Keep leading us. Until next time.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.